Hello everyone, myself Akhtarul, a second year MBBS student at Bardhaman Medical College and Hospital. Today I will discuss about skeletal system in our body and two types of girdles. One is discussed already and another is discussed today. Now discussion about axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Our body is divided into two skeletal systems. One is axial skeleton and another is appendicular skeleton. So the axial skeleton means bones which are arranged in midline or midline axis of our body, which are further divided into skull bone, sternum, ribs, vertebra, hyoid, ear ossicles. And the skull bone is further divided into two bones. One is cranial bone and another is facial bone. Cranial bone which formed our cranium or covering of our brain, and another is facial bone which formed the face. Cranial bone is number 8 and facial bone is number 14. 8 are frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital, sphenoid, ethmoid. Parietal and temporal are paired bone and others are generally unpaired bone. And the facial bones are maxillar 2 in number, paired bone, zygomatic 2 in number, paired bone, mandible is unpaired bone, nasal is 2, that means paired bone, and palatine is paired bone, inferior nasal concha paired bone, lacrimal paired bone, vomer is single or unpaired bone. Therefore, there are 14 facial bone and there are 8 cranial bone. If you are details to know, then comments in my video and I will try to make another video for this bone in details. Then the number is sternum, single or unpaired bone. Ribs are 24 in number or 12 pairs. And vertebra is 26 serially arranged vertebra in case of mature human. But in case of infant there are 33 serially arranged vertebra, because in case of infants there are sacrum 5 and coccyx 5. But in case of mature human there are fuse of sacrum and coccyx happen. Therefore sacrum 5 is fused to 1 and coccyx 4 is fused to 1. So in case of mature human the number of vertebrae is 26 and sacrum is number 1 and coccyx in number 1. So vertebra is 26 serially arranged vertebra in case of mature human. Then hyoid bone, which is not including in cranial bone or facial bone, it including into axial skeleton, which is U-shaped bone and it is a unpaired bone, and there are 6 ear ossicles, malleus, incus, stapes in each ear. Therefore in case of axial skeleton total number of bones is 80. Another skeletal system is appendicular skeletal system, which are rather than axial skeleton, which are formed by limbs and girdle. Limbs like upper limb and lower limbs, and girdles like upper limb girdle and lower limb girdle, pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Upper limb is formed by 60 bones and lower limb also formed by 60 bones. They are further divided into, in case of upper limb, humerus in number 1, radius in number 1, ulna in number 1, carpals in number 8, and metacarpals in number 5, and phalanges in number 14, and total number is 30. And in case of two limbs is multiply into 2, therefore total number of bones 60 bones. In case of lower limb, femur in number 1, which is also known as long bone, tibia is in number 1, fibula in number 1, tarsals number in 7, and there are patella, which is also is known as knee bone in number 1, metatarsals in number 5, and phalanges in number 14. Therefore lower limb contain 30 bones and two limbs contain 60 bones. Therefore 60 plus 60 is 120 bones, and another 6 bones are formed by pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle, which is formed by clavicle and scapula, and each girdle contain one clavicle and one scapula. Therefore, two pectoral girdle contain two clavicle and two scapula, and total number of bones is 4. Therefore, in case of pectoral girdle, there must be 4 bones are attached, two clavicle and two scapula in pectoral girdle. And pelvic girdle, which is formed by two hip bone, and two hip bones are involved, so 120 in case of upper limb plus lower limb bone, and 4 in case of pectoral girdle, and 2 for pelvic girdle, which is formed by hip bone. So total number of appendicular skeletal bone is 126 bones. In case of appendicular skeleton, number of bones is 126, and axial skeleton number of bones is 80, and total number of bones axial skeleton plus appendicular skeleton is 126 plus 80 equals to 206 bones. Pelvic girdle, which is formed by two hip bone, and each hip bone contains 3 parts. One is ilium, another is pubis, and another is ischium. And these ilium, pubis, and ischium togetherly formed, they are fused to form acetabulum, and acetabulum is the part through which head of femur is articulated. Pelvic girdle is formed by hip bone, and each hip bone contains 3 parts. One is ilium, which is upper part, and 2 lower part is pubis and ischium. 3 parts, ilium, ischium, and pubis, togetherly fused and formed a cavity known as acetabulum. They are fused and formed acetabulum, and through which the head of femur is articulated. Therefore, they formed a joint which is also known as ball and socket type of joint, and it's also is one type of synovial joint. And the pubis of both hip bone, which are fused to form a symphysis which is known as pubic symphysis, and this pubic symphysis is made of white fibrocartilage, and these pubic symphysis as made up of white fibrocartilage, therefore it allows slightly movement, therefore it's a type of cartilaginous joint. And this is the bone sacrum or sacrum vertebrae, and there will be a surface in ilium which is known as sacropelvic surface. This sacropelvic surface adheres with the ala of sacrum. This part is known as ala of sacrum, and formed sacroiliac joint. It's known as sacroiliac joint, which is also provides support to the hip bone,